And we're back. It's Dov Charney joining us, voice of disruption. And I admire this guy in so many ways because, like I said, he's out in front. And when you're out in front, which, by the way, is not a traditional Asian culture. Most Asians don't want to offend because if they offend, that means someone has to be in front suggesting new ideas and new visions. So generally, everyone stays in the Asian culture in the same pace. Until recently, then some people came out forward, and that's where innovation started hitting Japan and Korea.
Right.
But those people were chastised and sometimes taken down because they went out in front.
That's exactly correct. Yeah, I that analysis is.
Well, you've seen it yourself.
Yeah, and what's happened is almost as if they're, if you think of what's going on in Korea right now, they're really pushing individuality where
Yes.
they pushed conformity for such a long time. And now here in the United States, we are experiencing, I don't think people are calling this, but there's a huge push to conformity. And that's what I think is...
That's bad.
Yeah, I think it's a risk to the United States. And it's a risk to Western culture. And I don't even think the United States culture is as important now as the entire Anglophone culture. English-speaking people at large are being faced with this huge conformist push because of the mob environment on the internet.
So being an entrepreneur, actually, it's something you may not aspire to be because of that feeling.
You might crawl underground, or you may get assassinated in this new environment.
Yeah, you'll be taken down.
Right. So you take some of the greatest thinkers like Einstein, or you take Steve Jobs, or you take aviator.
Howard Hughes?
Yeah, Howard Hughes. All right. So, whoops. All right. So you take Howard. Didn't mean to hit myself so hard. Yeah. But you take Howard Hughes. You take all these creative thinkers. Would they be interested or able to function in this new environment?
Pretty scary.
It's scary because that's what made the United States or the English world was so incredible because of these individual thinkers, Graham Bell, these great people that help define our culture. Well, I don't want to speak to myself, but
well, I'm going
we'll
to
see
say
how
that.
it all ends.
Well, it's exciting because you are going off and proving that you can do it again. Different tools this time that did not exist when you started American Apparel. Social media is one of them.
Yes.
How do you embody, embrace, and utilize that as a tool to propel yourself to the next level?
Well, I think you can connect to a subset of people. First of all, I think one of the great thinkers of our time is Malcolm Gladwell. And what he defined for us is that 3% of the population is innovative, 14% is early adapter, 34% is early majority, 34% is late majority, and 17% is lagger. So you could pinpoint small little micro audiences online and speak to them. And you don't have to have 1 million followers, because the 1 million followers may be the wrong million. You might have 6,000 followers, but they're the right people at the right time, the right place to catalyze what you're trying to do.
How do you find those niches to get them going? How do you do that?
You have to connect like 25 people at a time. That's how I know how to do it in the most organic, honest way. Is by maybe liking something they do or just being yourself and define. I went on this campaign to photograph signs and these unique...
I follow you on Instagram. I love your photos.
Yeah, I try to post as much as I can. Some days it's hard because it's
culture. You actually follow him on Facebook and on Instagram, but your photos
I prefer Instagram. I'm losing interest in Facebook.
I'm with you on that too.
But it's hard to, because you have to curate the post, and I'm not doing as good a job on Facebook.
But when you go to your photos, you're grabbing that snapshot of what's going on. You try to crystallize the emotion, not just of the signs, by the way. You do pictures. There's one of you in front of a taco place. I forget what it was.
Yeah.
And you really captured the emotions of what was going on. How do you apply that to you utilizing social media or to your industry?
Well, I'm speaking to this subterranean group of people that understand that there's a subtext to the subtext to the subtext in Los Angeles. And it's not necessarily Santa Monica, the Santa Monica Pier. There's something far greater. How this city has morphed culturally from an Anglophone city to this multicultural city where there's this intense Korean element. There's this intense. We're the largest Muslim population in the United States. Is right here, you know, and we have the largest Korean population outside of Korea, and then of course we have Hispanic roots.
Right.
No one can erase that from this city, and the Hispanic culture is becoming richer and richer and richer, and then, of course we have an African American culture that's unique. It's a Western version.
Do you think?
Of
What
course,
LA is, do
yeah.
you think it leads the rest of the United States? Do you think it actually has it, or is it still a New York?
No, I think things have. I'm definitely in my lifetime have seen from I'm 49, and from the moment that I was 19 to 49, cool is now here. It's no longer-
And you're not just saying that because you're here.
No, New York got financialized, and financialization is a form of conformity. They basically, there's still enough space. There's certain elements you need to make creativity happen, in my opinion. And this, in Los Angeles, that you need constant flow of immigrants. And I don't mean just people from outside the United States, also people coming from places like Ohio. Okay. I often say, oh, he's an immigrant from Ohio. You need people coming to the place. You need inexpensive real estate. It has to be easy to enter, get in.
Not Los Angeles.
It is still really inexpensive to set up a business here, to acquire space. There's lots of retail storefronts that are empty.
They're totally empty, you're right.
Yeah, $2,000, boom, you got a space to work, a space the size of this room, you know, and you need workers, you need motivated people.
But your audience isn't LA, is it? Your audience is the United States, if not the world. That's your
My
your
audience
buying
is forward-thinking, the creative class in larger cities in the world.
Okay, so if you look at Los Angeles as this, not even a microcosm, but a good sample of what's going on, they always would say everything bleeds inward, meaning the coast, it starts and it slowly goes into the center of the United States. Do you agree with that?
Yes, but I think things are much more complex right now.
How would you actually put it then?
Because you can have some cool influencers now that maybe not even Austin, maybe in a suburb of Dallas. I mean, it just could be in the most the place you wouldn't predict. Although, yeah, I do believe in generally what you're saying, but I could give you some reversals to that because of new technology. For instance, you could have an influencer in a remote area of Korea, and that really speaks, graphically. It could be a graphic designer that has captured an aesthetic, and everybody that's important in his microculture is following this guy or this woman.
When American Apparel was there, people knew it because of you also.
Yes.
You were this personality that really drove the product. People wanted to know you better. On your new company, how personality driven is it? Do you still put yourself out there as, hey, Los Angeles Apparel, Dov Charney?
I think I'm still, that remains to be seen, because when you're an entrepreneur, you don't have to you don't have to create a roadmap and follow it. So it depends on mood, and it depends on but I do think ultimately the workers that are helping me, my creative staff, my administrative staff, myself, yes, it's important that there be faces, or more than a face, I think that there are faces to the company, that there are people behind the machine.
Okay.
And you have these like monolithic companies that don't mean anything. Over time, I think they're at risk.
It's just interesting because you have to then evolve yourself. You as a person have to grow, not just with the company, but with culture.
Or maybe you don't.
Well, what do you think? Are you growing? Are you changing?
Well, of course, the politically correct thing to say, we're always evolving, we're always improving, we're always
you're
learning.
Not politically correct.
No, but
there's no PC about you at all.
Yeah, but the thing is, some people have to stand where they are and say, I ain't moving. Right? And that also is important in our culture.
But how about you? What are you doing?
I'm going through a transitionary period where I can't give you all the answers of what I'm going to be and who I'm going to be and how I'm going to do it, because the truth is I don't know.
You don't know.
And you know what? Assuming formlessness is a very powerful thing. That you could just change, hey, I'm going this way, I'm going that way. You leave your options open. There's no reason not to. Or decide that, and then you could decide to stay firm, or you could decide to change.
So I kind of see you like Steve Jobs, because he got kicked out of Apple, and then he came back and literally reinvented it, transformed what that company was. And he felt that time, him creating Next when he was not in Apple, was what gave him that disruptiveness to really take Apple to the next level. You're at that point now. You literally were kicked out of your last company. You're transforming this new company to take the best parts of what the last company was and moving forward, right?
That's what I'm attempting to do.
But you are doing it.
I assume in my mind, in my heart, when I wake up in the morning that, yeah, I'm going to accomplish
That's what I'm going to ask.
Yeah.
When you wake up, what do you tell yourself saying, hey, I am a gladiator and I'm going to move forward? What gives you the energy to move forward?
I can't tell you what that is. I can't. It's in the DNA. It's a little. Well, it's all. But the DNA gets affected by various experiences that might be pre-consciousness. It might be something that happened in my early years. It's like I've seen twins. You know, you've seen identical twins, and as they get older, they change. I have a few.
You just don't know it. You wake up and you're driven.
But there's something about it. It's a passion. But it's almost. It's a tragic flaw in a certain way because you have no choice but to fight. Okay, like you cannot give up. Like I could have a family member say, "Here's $2 million. Go to an island, and we'll call you in 2 years." I don't know if I can do it.
You could never do that.
I'd probably no. If they give me the $2 million, I'll blow it on some fabric okay? and some equipment, and I'll be trying to raise more.
I want to see more of you. You've gotten quiet because you've been building this business.
Yeah,
okay. So it would be nice to see a podcast that you do, a blog. Your photos are actually out more. I think what you are for entrepreneurs is inspiring.
Thank you.
Because you've come back from the dead, and you've come back even stronger. And that's what we need to see more of. We need more of you. Can you make it happen?
I'm going to make it happen.
That's what I want.
All right.
Dov Charney, thanks a lot. Voice of Disruption,
Thank you.
people disrupting themselves. You can do it too. Thanks a lot for hanging out with us right here on VOD.